Dr. Punam Krishan and welcome back to my channel. So you're following me today on a typical day in the life of me as a GP, i.e. your family practitioner. Things that I do when I get in is really set my desk up for the day, and I used to have one of these like standard doctor bags, which was like this yaddy-da serious looking bag, and I got really bored of it and I decided actually I wanted to have a cheerier, like a happier doctor's bag. So now that's my doctor's bag. So in it I have all sorts of weird and wonderful things that are really, it's my kit, my essentials, like my thermometer. I have my stethoscope that I love so much, and I have, it's quite messy, I have my horoscope, I have my water because we need to keep ourselves hydrated at work. I only have this, it's a heated hairbrush for the days where I'm in a rush, and I don't know, you never know when you need to straighten your hair, so that's not an essential kit for a doctor. But anyway, I have a pulse oximeter to check people's oxygen levels, so for anyone having breathing difficulties, my ophthalmoscope, which looks into the eyes. Now really, without this stuff I wouldn't be able to do my job, so I'm really grateful for my apparatus. But other than that, I have random things like herbal teas, charger, and there's some medications in there too, but yeah. So if you see me walking around with a Mickey Mouse bag, it's actually my doctor's bag, but most of the doctors will have a nice looking serious bag. I don't. So once I've logged in, essentially I look at what the day is looking like. So as GPs, it tends to be that we have a morning clinic and an afternoon clinic, and that usually consists of somewhere between 13 to 15 patients in one clinic. The appointments are all 10 minutes apart, so we basically just get started with that. Alongside our column for clinic, we also have something that is called special requests. So that is people who require a certain medication that is not perhaps on their repeat medications, and we then have to go into their notes and review whether or not they are eligible to have the request that they've made. We also have a column for house visits, so for anyone that is frail, elderly, housebound, or too unwell to come down to the surgery, their name gets added to that, and usually that is then divvied up between the doctors at the practice to do during the lunch break. In between patients, what tends to happen is we get a pile of prescriptions given to us. So these are for any patient who has got repeat medications, and they have requested their sort of monthly medications. So we have to review each prescription and ensure that the patient is getting the medications that they're supposed to be getting, and also do a quick medication review. Now this does sometimes mean that you are signing sometimes up to 100 prescriptions a day, which is why you will find that doctors have really rubbish signatures and really appalling handwriting, because we are doing so much signing all day long that we lose the ability to write our names properly. I'm just going to go get my next patient, so time for you to get out. I am a busy full-time working mum, so I have to make the most of my fitness throughout the day, and I can only do it by weaving it in throughout the day. So I tend to go and collect all of my patients. I do this for two reasons really. One is to get some steps in, so I'm getting off my seat and moving, and the second is actually it allows me to gauge what my patients are walking like, their appearance. There's a lot that you can tell from people just by observing alone, so I kind of kill two birds with one stone. I love to get out whenever I can, because sitting cooped up inside a room all day can be pretty soul destroying. So I like to get out, especially at lunchtime, and go for a wee walk and get some lunch. The other thing that I also feel is, you know, when we talk about it's important to connect with nature, which I'm all about, that does not mean that you need to go and lie naked in the middle of a rainforest for a forest bathing experience. What it means is you literally can just look up, listen to the bees and the birds, which you can hear all around, And look, you've just connected with nature. How easy was that? There really is no excuse. One of the other things that you have to do as a GP is that not every patient requires an appointment, or often some things can actually be managed on the phone. So in between patients and during the lunch break between the two clinics, we have telephone consultations where we phone patients either to speak to them about a concern that they have or a problem that they have, or to give them some results. So surgeries can be really long, and we do tend to drink a lot of coffee. The most important thing I would recommend anybody when they're working is do not forget to keep drinking water. So I tend to kind of do this throughout the day. At the end of the clinic, and what I now need to do is I now need to go through all the results for the various tests that we have done on our patients, and also look at some of the hospital correspondences that have come through. So that's like letters from specialists that my patients have visited, the outcomes of referrals that I've made, and yeah, so on a typical day I can have anywhere between 50 to 100 correspondences, and results, you know, we've got about 40 today to work through, so I'm just going to do that. So it's another day in GP land done. I have seen 32 patients face to face today. I have done hundreds of letters, results, I've done lots of prescriptions, I've been out for walks, just a standard day. And as usual, I am running about an hour and a half late finishing, but that's just normal. But again, what would I say? Can't wait to do this again tomorrow. There's been loads and loads of people today that I've managed to help, and that in itself makes me feel so grateful. The end of a day at work, not just for me but for absolutely everyone, it's exhausting. We're tired, often we feel really wired. I know for me, certainly after the number of patient contacts that I have, I kind of absorb a lot of this energy, and can feel pretty wired in the head. So the commute home for me is really important in allowing me to just kind of try and just bring myself into alignment again. So things that I tend to do are either listen to a nice podcast, or something that's a bit light though, nothing too educational or heavy on the brain, or listen to music, and just really bring myself down to a point where just feeling a bit more calm. I also have mastered my evening routine, which really helps me to kind of unwind from the day and kind of get ready for a good night's sleep. So I will be sharing this in another video with you shortly, so stay tuned. Well, I'm tired, so I'm going to head off home now. Thank you so much for watching. Anything that you want to share with me or ask advice about, leave it in the comments below. I'm off home.